Hey y'all, this is Marla Kay. Hope everybody is well. Got two stories that I want to share with you, and they're really important. I got a lot of stories I need to share with y'all, but I'm just really behind. These are really important. They're very current and important because it is tied to probably the beginning of the infrastructure breakdown here in America. And uh, one is about Israel um, striking Iran's nuclear facilities, which is huge. So it's going to um, cause a lot of issues. Um, and the other thing to note is that there were a lot of 911 outages recently, and America has been warning of their infrastructure issues for a while. So I just kind of feel like with the release of Leave the World Behind, the Civil War movie that just came out last weekend, this war starting up, Passover is coming up, I think next week. Bitcoin is halving, and I'm gonna do a story on that. Like, if you can't read between the lines on this particular story, um, I don't even know what to say, but I just feel like all these things are coming together because they're ready to take down the system. I guess all the pieces are in place. They've done all the pilots for the CBDC. Um, they're ready to get it popping so they can yeet all the people they wanted to yeet, to have the purges, create the famine, supply chain issues, water issues, um, civil unrest, civil war, all those things. And it's not just going to happen here in America, it's going to happen all over the place because everybody's economy is going to be impacted. So we have to really be thinking in terms of we don't really have much time um, for prepping spiritually and physically. The prices of everything is getting ready to go up. Gas is already going up. You can drive by the gas station going someplace. The gas is one price. You can drive back an hour later and the price has increased, 10 cents. So gas is gonna go up a lot because a lot of the nations in the Middle East are going to support Iran, and then the Russia and China are probably going to get involved because America, NATO is going to get involved. The EU is going to get involved. So boots are already on the ground. It really was already started, but the media frame stuff the way that they want to, and they escalate it when they want to escalate it for whatever purposes they need and want to escalate it. So now they've officially escalated it, and so we need to talk about it. So it says Israel launches limited retaliatory strike against Iran. And this comes from El País, and it is an international newspaper. Y'all know I read news from all over the place. So here we go. The target of the operation, a response to the Iranian attack last weekend, was Isfahan, where the heart of the country's nuclear program is located. Excuse me. The International Atomic Energy Agency confirmed that no nuclear facilities have been damaged. Tehran says it has shot down 3 drones and does not plan immediate retaliation. So it says Israel attacked targets in Iran early on Friday, 5 days after Iran launched more than 300 drones and missiles against Israeli territory in an offensive that caused no deaths and hardly any material damage. Information about the scope and the nature of the attack is unclear at the moment, although it appears to be limited. Tehran claims to have destroyed 3 drones in Isfahan province, Isfahan province, the heart of Iran's nuclear program, after activating its defense systems. The UN's International Atomic Energy Agency has confirmed that no Iranian nuclear facilities were damaged. Yes, Sources quoted by the U.S. and local media report the use of missiles in the offense where Tehran denies. I'm sorry, which Tehran denies. Initial reports point to a moderate retaliation following days of international calls for restraint, similar to Iran's moderate response to Israel's assassination of its military commanders in a Damascus consular building. Tehran is not planning immediate retaliation. Now, this is what we need to pay attention to. The United States did not participate in the operation, which Israel had warned Washington earlier on Thursday that a strike was imminent, according to Reuters. The attack was reported by the American network ABC, citing sources from Popal and his administration. Israel has confirmed it is behind the attack that could have hit a military air base near the city of Isfahan, according to the newspaper, the New York Times. There is no data, on the number of possible victims or material damage, although in principle, no nuclear facilities have been hit and no large explosions have been seen, according to local media. Other American media reported on the attack shortly after. It was the official state TV channel of the Islamic Republic of Iran that reported that several Israeli drones had been downed. Now, pay attention to this warfare, because this is what they're going to do here. You're not going to have a whole bunch of airplanes and bombs dropping and stuff. It's going to be drones, and that's why you know they've been using this technology over there. They're going to use it here on us. They're already using it on us. So, you just need to be cognizant of the fact. Pay attention to the warfare that's happening in other places, because when war comes here, they're going to do the same thing here. Um, whether it's your allies or your country that done sold you out, it doesn't matter. We are going to have a different type of warfare, and it's going to be unfair. All war is unfair, just let me say that for the record. But this 5G new type of warfare is like really not not fair. I saw a post and I shared it on my community page on YouTube where um, Israel had drones that had women and children crying, so they could draw the men out, and as the men came out, they targeted them, and they had this drone with like these guns on them, I guess, or weapons, and so they would just fly around and have women and children crying, playing sounds of women and children crying to get the men to come out. Now, do you know how evil that is? That's just evil. Men doing what they're supposed to do, they're trying to defend their people, and you're being targeted. But that's what war is like that. So, I just found that horrific. But the tactics of war, are just very evil, and that's something that we really need to try to grapple with. Just wrap our minds around how evil things are going to be, especially for you know Judah and Israelites scattered. Like, we're going to be targeted. So we really need to just be prepared mentally. And you just really have to be thinking like, your enemy, but the tactics of war we don't know because it's not been done here. So this is why I pay attention to what is going on overseas with warfare, because when it hits home, they're going to use the same stuff on us. And I personally think the stage is already set. They've been staging for a minute. So we at any time, I think we could expect something. I really think within the next 2 weeks. personally, but I'll share my thoughts later on that in another video. So it says a spokesperson for Iran's National Cyberspace Center, Hossein Dalirian, has also stated in a message on X, formerly Twitter, that his country has shot down 3 Israeli drones known as quadcopters, small drones with 4 propellers. The Iranian news agency Fars had previously reported that Israeli devices had hit near Isfahan airport and that the anti-craft systems had been activated. It added that Iran had partially and temporarily closed national airspace. According to the Iranian Airports and Air Navigation Company, cited by IRNA, air traffic in the country has since been restored. Locals saw explosions in the sky that they recorded on video, according to images obtained by BBC, which I will not be playing. So I just want to let y'all know that the war is on and it's not going to be dialed down. It's only going to turn up. So we should just be preparing because gas is going to go up. Supplies that we rely on from overseas are going to go up. And the Papa's administration has put out another notice that, hackers are trying to attack our critical infrastructure. So that's the power grid, the phones, so on and so forth. So this story is tied to that. So you have to understand that Babylon don't have any friends, and what they do to us and the booger man, when the booger man does stuff to us, we're going to be collateral damage. Us as a nation, the individual people or the citizens will be the collateral damage. So, you just have to be prepared and understand that when these systems go down, you won't have any help. You won't be able to rely on any of the systems and infrastructures that we have now. So this story that's going to coincide with this other story I'm talking about is the 911 outages. So it says multi-state 911 outage shows fragility of systems, experts say. Lumen Technologies, a telecommunications company based in Louisiana, said the outage was due to an issue installing a single light pole in multiple states. What kind of shenanigans is this even really? So a major 911 outage Wednesday showed the urgent need for increased modernization and regulation of the emergency system. And notice they always talking about the infrastructure need to be fixed. They're not going to fix anything. They've known for some time that they were planning to implode this place. The hidden hands. And so nothing is going to work because that's the goal. If you want your society to be up and improved and okay, you fix it, you modernize it. They haven't done that and they don't intend to do it because they've been intending for it to collapse. They need these systems to break down because they need the society to break down so that they can introduce their solution. Chaos to order. Okay, so on Thursday, Lumen Technologies, a telecommunications company based in Louisiana, said in a statement that some customers in Nevada, South Dakota, and Nebraska experienced an outage due to a third-party company installing a light pole unrelated to our services. The outage left millions in multiple states without emergency access to authorities for about 2.5 hours. That's purge time. So these people are practicing. They testing this stuff out. They telling us anything they want. They say it was a outage due to installing a light pole, but like that don't even make no sense. In multiple states, really? 911. So understand whenever anything happens here, you are on your own. You're gonna have to be prepared to take care of yourself. You're gonna have to be prepared to defend yourself. You're gonna have to be prepared for medical emergencies. Um, in event there's a fire on your property, you need to have fire extinguishers. You're gonna have to be your own fireman. You're gonna have to be your own police. You're gonna have to be your own security. You're gonna have to be your own everything. You have to be your own ambulance, and you may not even be able to have an ambulance. So you need to have things on your property to be able to take care of minor and some major health care crises, because we're not going to be able to um, on these systems that we have become so accustomed to having. So as the society breaks down, it's really going to become primitive, and we're going to be like we were back in the old days when, our families, we couldn't go to the hospital doctor. Nobody was running back and forth to the doctor. Now they got everybody addicted to, I got to go to the doctor. I got to have a check. I got to go get this x-ray. I got to go all this preventative stuff. They didn't do that. You just got some salve and put on you, and grandma got some fat back and stuck on you, put on the bottom of your feet, and all was well. You was okay. So, and I'm just using that as an example. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I'm just saying that the time is coming where we're not going to be able to rely on the systems that we have become accustomed to. So it says, our techs identified the issue and worked hard to fix it as quickly as possible, Lumen said. We apologize for the inconvenience and appreciate our customers' patience and understanding. Harold Feld, Senior Vice President of Public Knowledge, a nonprofit public interest group that focuses on telecommunications and internet law, said a single pole should not be able to disable 911 in multiple states. That's what I'm talking about. Some bull swanky going on. Everyone knows when you have a system that is critically important, that lives depend on, you don't just have it all come down in a single fiber strand, he said. So the Federal Communication Commission said Thursday it is investigating the incident. You might as well say nothing happened. When you call 911 in an emergency, it is vital that call goes through. The FCC has already begun investigating the 911 multi-state outages that occurred last night to get to the bottom of the cause and impact, Chairman Jessica Rosenworcel said in a statement. The communications, all the communications. Who controls communications? The adversary. And so you're not going to be able to communicate because the adversary must control that. It's part of his job to create hell on earth. Just control everything and make us miserable. So expect it. Power was reported out in Nebraska, Nevada, South Dakota, and Texas, and appeared to have been restored in the late evening, though it was not clear whether all those outages were tied to Lumen. So power was out and 911 was out. The 911 system debuted in 1968 to provide people with an easy way to dial emergency services rather than remember or find local numbers. So see how they always get us with convenience? So this is why, like, convenience is almost a sin. To me, like having convenience and the ease of doing stuff is how we get caught up in all these traps. Is how people are going to fall for the mark, because they're accustomed to a way, and they've never, for a lot of people, they've never had to really work hard for nothing to live or survive day to day. They haven't hauled water. They haven't used an outhouse or used the bathroom in a bucket. They haven't had to walk to a creek and fish and get food. They haven't had to draw water from a well and put in a bucket and carry it into the house to use it. Like, they just haven't done any of that. And so if you don't know anything about that, those people are not going to make it. And y'all know how fragile the children of the corn are. That's what they had us for. So when it comes to hard living, they ain't gonna make it. But it has never been a single unified system. There are over 6,000 jurisdictions for 911, said retired Rear Admiral David Simpson, chief of FCC's Public Safety and Homeland Security Bureau from 2013 to 2017. I didn't know such a thing existed. The decisions made for equipment and budget vary from state to state. So states control their 911 systems. So it says Feld said outages like this can affect multiple states, but because local communities can now outsource the running of their 911 systems to different companies. So Feld said that outsourcing 911 systems to private companies has meant outages can hit states even if the source of a problem is miles away. The multiple state outage again highlights the fact that our 911 systems are critical telecommunications services in dire need of being updated. Brian Fontes, CEO of NENA, NENA, the 911 Association, a nonprofit group that focuses on 911 operations, policies, and policy issues, said in a statement. These people make up a nonprofit for everything. They'll find a way to make them some money. When outages do occur, it is important for all the responsible parties to conduct a thorough investigation to understand what happened and why, so we can learn. It don't matter. It don't matter. This at this point in time, it does not matter. Why don't matter. And I'm gonna just stress that again. Why does not matter. Stop caring about why, because whatever why they tell you is probably a lie. One. And two, the issue is they've created these systems, for the sole purpose of convenience, but it's really to be able to control a lot of people at one time. So you got 4 states that's impacted by power outages and 911 outages from a single light pole, so they say. But it could be a cyber attack. You'll never know. They'll say this as an excuse, but it could just be we are we are under attack. Regardless of what the answer is, you still won't have access to 911. So, and I'm saying all that to say I'm not going to go on about this video. But what I want to share is as this war escalates and America and the European Union it gets involved, NATO, UN, it is going to escalate and things are going to happen where our infrastructure is going to be attacked. So, excuse me, make sure you have your own fire extinguishers. Make sure you have, extra water hoses. So if it's something happens on your property, you can put out fires inside or outside of your house. Make sure that you have, things to put out grease fires in your kitchen. Extra medical supplies, old medical equipment. Again, check out those thrift stores. They have all sorts of medical equipment for people, that people have turned in or donated, like crutches, um, canes, walkers, bedpans, um, blood pressure cups. I went last week or maybe last week, and I found a old bedpan, not an old bedpan. It was a new bedpan, never been used, in a old timey blood pressure cup. So it's all kinds of things that you can get to take care of medical needs. You need to, of course, have things like stop bleed, bandages, gauze, um, antibiotics you can get from Jace Medical. Um, and you need to have like, things to take for children. Like, don't forget to have things to take care of children, like medical supplies for um, temperature for fevers. Have old timey thermometers. Don't use the digital thermometers. If you can find the ones they say with the mercury and it's bad, yada yada yada. But um, the digital ones are not much better because you have to point those at your pineal gland, and it's basically frying your brain, killing your third eye, your eye that is used for detecting stuff. Just say that. Bandages, wraps, just anything, stuff for um, menstrual cycles. Just be prepared, family, because the supply chain is going to break down. And when it does, or when our money is devalued or inflation hits, you're not gonna be able to buy as much as you can today. So, look around your house and just think about what would you call 911 for? Or what does anybody call 911 for? If there's a crime, ain't nobody coming. So if somebody breaking into your house, you better be able to doggone have a way to get them out of there. Um, it's just so many things that we are comfortable relying on this system to do for us or to rescue us after the fact that will not be there. And as this war escalates and as the tensions rise and as it appears that, these nations are taking sides, note that the whole world is sick of Mystery Babylon. So children of the corn nations are going to um, suffer. And that means the citizens of those nations will be suffering. So be prepared, have your plans, have your network, your community locally that you will work with to protect your property, to share resources with, to keep informed. It's that time. It's not a time to play. It's not a time to look away. It's not a time to go on vacation and have a good time. And it's not that time. It's a time to stay close to home. Love on your family, prepare your family, get ready spiritually, because we don't know when the bad is coming, but it must be close, just based on some of the things that I see. Um, as far as this war, as far as the economy goes, the prices of oil and food, everything is increasing. And there's just a lot of rhetoric, a lot of stuff surrounding World War III. And then when it comes to the New World Order, I see a lot of stuff happening in Europe and on the African continent with just a lot of different things. A lot of things are happening. And even here in America, like, they're admitting they're broke. Um, I just published a story of Social Security doesn't have any money. And also, you know, people are not getting tax refunds. You don't hear people um, talking about they're getting money from the IRS and they're doing ABCD. The IRS don't have no money. The government doesn't have any money to pay people. All the money is going to these other countries for war and for other stuff. They're draining the coffers, what's left, and just printing money, but they ain't gonna print none for you. So if you waiting on a tax refund, you better get up and go to work. If you got something you can pawn, you better pawn it. Um, it's just really bad. So if you can prep for other people to help our people, those in need who are unprepared, do so, because we are called to do that. And just make sure you're spending your money as quickly as you get it, because it's not going to be worth nothing soon. The BRICS nations are ready to pull the rug from under Mystery Babylon, and it's happening faster than they anticipated. So be ready, family. Be ready, be ready, be ready. Lots of things are happening really fast. I would pay attention to what's happening this weekend. Usually stuff starts happening on Friday night. Things, stuff is going to be happening real fast and over the weekend. So I still I just think they're ready to crash this economy. And it just feels like that. So spend your money while it has value. Don't sit on it. Don't keep a whole lot of it in the bank. And don't be dependent on the government for nothing, because they ain't coming to save you. They're not gonna care if you eat. They don't care if you got lights. They don't care if somebody come in your house and bust you upside your head. They're not gonna care. It's that time. Babylon got to fall so the new world order can rise. And so we are going to be collateral damage, and we need to understand that. You can look at what's going on overseas and see that is what's coming here. They've been telling you in so many ways that it's coming here. They've put out 2 different movies in less than 6 months to let you know that war is coming, stuff is coming, it's coming to major cities, and you're going to, I guess things are just never going to go back to the way that they were. So we need to just be ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. All right, y'all, this is Marla K. Love y'all, and I'm out.